What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. Phillies back in action. Phillies get a win. Nice way to start the road trip at Wrigley Field in Chicago against the Cubs. A nice little 6-4 victory. Got a little bit of sketchy there at the end with Ruiz on the mound, after the Phillies retired so many batters in a row for the Cubs, basically making their offense just look terrible. Ruiz allowed 3 straight hits in the bottom of the ninth inning, including a 3-run shot to make it a 6-4 game. But I knew when Jeff Hoffman came into the ball game, I knew he was going to shut it down because Jeff Hoffman, at the end of the day, has big balls in that situation. And for people that probably want to blame Rob Thompson for the Ruiz situation, Rob did the right thing getting Ruiz right out of the game, and this is not Rob Thompson's fault whatsoever. In a 6-1 game, you can get away with putting a Ruiz out there on the mound. Ruiz just needs to execute at the end of the day, and that's basically what it is. But still, you result in a win. 6-4 at the end of the day. It's another win in the win column, and also kudos because the Braves lost as well, so you gain another game in the NL East standings. They lost against the San Francisco Giants, I believe 5-3, if I'm not mistaken. So hey, win-win for today. Get a nice win, and you also increase your lead in the NL East. You gain a game on the Atlanta Braves. Always feels good in that predicament. Trea Turner was great today. Trea Turner basically carried the entire offense, if you want to put it that way. 2 home runs from Trea Turner, 4 RBI on the day. 4 RBI on the day. Garrett Stubbs had the other 2 RBIs. He was the reason the Phillies got on the board 2-0 early on. Get a couple of base runners, get a little second and third action. Garrett Stubbs comes in. He finds a way to get the runs home, puts the ball the opposite way. Nice little work there from Stubbsy. I love it. And then Trea Turner just being Trea Turner, a couple of 2-run shots. You love to see it. No, actually, not a couple of 2-run shots. One of them was solo shot, and then a 2-run shot, and then he also drove in the 6th run with an RBI single. So Trea was doing a little bit of everything today. And also for Mercado, good stuff. Good stuff. There were sections where he had to get out of some trouble. He did allow that, 1 run when the Phillies made it 3-0. Cody Bellinger got an RBI hit there. But overall, he got a very solid scoreline. He had a very solid night at the dish, at the pitcher's mound, whatever you want to call it. And he got himself his first Major League victory. So tip of the cap to him. He came into a situation where we all thought it was going to be tough just because of the Phillies offense and the way it was, going down with these injuries. And hey, offense stepped up for him. He did a little stepping up himself, and that resulted in him getting his first Major League victory and helping the boys out. If you want to look at Mercado's final stat line, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts on 78 pitches. Good stuff. Good stuff. Very solid stuff for your Major League debut. Guys from the bullpen, basically besides Ruiz, was really good. Gregory Soto continues to be electric in his past few outings, has been very good actually. Orion Kerkering, very good, 12 pitches, 6 strikes, 1 strikeout there. Junior Marte, really good, 10 pitches to get out of his situation. Ruiz was basically the lone blemish on the pitching side tonight, was not able to record an out, was just getting hit all over the place, and including that 3-run shot by Seiya Suzuki to make it 6-4. But then Jeff Hoffman comes in, strikes out 2 on 11 pitches, and records the save for the Phils. All good at the end of the day, which is a nice thing to see there. And if we want to look at, the action from this game, starts in the top of the 2nd inning, basically. Nick Castellanos leads off with a walk, and then Cody Clemens doubles right down the right field line, makes it 2nd and 3rd with nobody out, and then Garrett Stubbs doubles to left field, scoring 2 runs, makes it 2-0 Phillies. Then Trea Turner leads off the top of the 3rd, crushes a solo shot, 3-0 Phils. Cubs get on the board in the bottom of the 3rd after a Cody Bellinger 2-out RBI double, makes it 3-1. Phillies, they keep adding to their lead in the top of the 5th. Trea Turner wanted to one-up his solo shot, which was hit hard and crushed and went a long way. Dude hit it out of the stadium in Wrigley. Hit it out into the streets. Good stuff there. 2-run shot. Becomes 5-1. And then Trea Turner does it again in the top of the 7th inning after Bryson Stott gets a double. Honestly, the Phillies could have scored more runs in this inning if you think about it, because Johan Rojas with a beautiful placed bunt down the 3rd base line managed to reach safe, and then he tried to steal second base where he was called out in the initial play. The Phillies tried to challenge it. The replay was definitely close. I could see the argument for both sides, but I guess the umpire, the review crew or whatever it is, decided there wasn't enough evidence to overturn the call to call him safe. So Rojas was out, at second base, and then the very next pitch, Bryson Stott doubled down the right field line. So honestly, in that situation, Rojas could have scored, and then Trea Turner driving in another run. It could have been 7-1 Phillies at the end of the day, 7-4 finish, honestly. But that's what happens. Sometimes you're just gonna get unlucky in those situations. And then the ninth inning happened. Bush got in on that infield single. Bryson Stott bobbled the ball. He made a nice diving effort to get to the ball, but obviously was not going to be able to get the guy out. And then Cody Bellinger singled to make it first and third, nobody out. And then the Seiya Suzuki home run happened, just got over the wall and into the first row there. So yeah, basically, quick game. Definitely a quick game. It kind of felt like it was taking forever for this game to start anyway, just because of the 8 o'clock start time. So used to, 6:40s, 7 o'clocks and everything like that when the Phillies go to a different time zone. You're like, oh my God, just let the game start already. That's basically what it is. So it was an 8 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow's another 8 o'clock. And then the 4th of July, I believe, is at like a 2:30 or something like that. Some weird 2 o'clock time. It's not like 2 o'clock. It's not like 2:05. It's not 2:32. I believe it's like 2:15 or 2:20. Or something like that the last time I saw. So definitely some weird stuff there. Then the next series, you play the Atlanta Braves this weekend. So going to be some interesting baseball. You also got Zack Wheeler on the bump tomorrow, so that could be a very good chance to try to win the series. But I do believe the Cubs have Shota Umanga on the mound as well, who has been very good. He's been getting roughed up a little bit lately for the Cubs pitching-wise. He was off to a fantastic start, basically, with a sub-2 ERA and everything, getting a boatload of strikeouts, barely allowing runs in his outings. Lately, he has been getting roughed up a little bit, but, Phillies offense, we know what the lineup's going to be looking like right now with Bryce, with JT, with Schwarber out, so basically they're just going to have to figure ways out to score runs, and they figured that way out today with mainly Trea Turner. Mainly Trea Turner factoring in also with Garrett Stubbs. So, got the runs, they got their chances, and they found a way to capitalize on those opportunities, which is always nice to see. So we want to look at the lineup fully today. Bryson Stott had a good day in the leadoff spot. He went 2 for 5. Trea Turner 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs on the night, 2 home runs as well. Alec Bohm, he went over 3 with a walk. Same thing with Brandon Marsh, over 3 with a walk. Nick Castellanos, he went 1 for 3 with a walk. Cody Clemens 1 for 4. David Dahl as the DH, he went over 4 with 4 strikeouts, so with a golden sombrero there. Garrett Stubbs 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. Then Johan Rojas 1 for 4 with that bunt single. Phillies, they left 5 runners on base, and they went 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Trea Turner and Garrett Stubbs with the lone hits with those situations. So, yeah, some interesting things as well. There was also a stat that I think Corey Seidman posted. I believe this was before the game, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this definitely was before the game. And there was also some news on Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber from Matt Gelb as well, so we'll get into that especially. But this was before the game. This was this afternoon, actually, way in the afternoon. So Corey Seidman posted, the Phillies have only lost 1 game of ground to the Braves since their final day in London, despite it being their worst 20-game stretch at any point this season, 10-10. The lead was 8 games when that 3-city trip ended, and it is still 8. So interesting stuff there. So we've been thinking the Phillies have not been playing their best baseball lately. Out of that entirely, they've only lost 1 game totally in the standings, and they gain a game back tonight with them winning and the Braves losing. So it really hasn't been the end of the world. But yeah, if you were winning more games, you probably would have had a bigger lead on the Braves. So I guess some people are going to throw that argument out there. But at the end of the day, the sky is not falling, as some Phillies fans put it out there. I'm not going to get into that tonight. Definitely not going to get into that tonight. There's no reason to get into that tonight. It was a good win. Good win to start a series. Your race is on the mound tomorrow to try to win the series at least, to put yourself in a good position for Thursday. So that's all that matters at the end of the day, and just hopefully the Braves keep losing to the San Francisco Giants. So that's basically it at the end of the day from that perspective. But getting to the Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, also JT update as well. So this technically was from Rob Thompson before the game. So Matt Gell posted this on Twitter. Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, they did some jogging today, hit in the cage, progressing as expected. Rob Thompson also said that JT Realmuto will hit on the field for the first time. He is jogging. Also, it's an incredible day at Wrigley Field. So Matt Gell just decided to put that in there at the end of his tweet. So hey, it's good to see Schwarbs and Bryce finding ways to progress right now. I still think the timelines obviously are still the same with the way everything is going. Kyle Schwarber, I expect sometime before the All-Star break, and Bryce Harper, it's supposed to be around the same time, but I wouldn't be shocked if they push him till after the All-Star break, if they just tell Bryce Harper, hey, I know you made the All-Star team, guy, I know you're a starter in the All-Star game. We can't have you play the All-Star game. We can't be taking that risk right now since you just got injured. We all know the injury timeline's supposed to be around before the All-Star break, but we're going to take the extra precaution. You're going to stay home. You're going to relax, hang out with the wife, hang out with the kids, rest that hamstring, get some, vacation time in there, do whatever it is that you can to relax, rest that hamstring, and then you come back after the All-Star break and we continue pushing for this greatness that this Phillies team is trying to push for. Can't be ruining anything right now with an All-Star game. I know you haven't made an All-Star game in the Phillies uniform, and you probably really want to play in that game for the Phillies uniform, but we have bigger goals in mind here, Bryce. The All-Star game, okay, you got voted into the All-Star game. That should count for anything right there. Focus on the rest of the season, focus on the playoff push, and that's basically it. We can't afford to risk anything else at the end of the day. And that's basically it from there. Yeah. Find a way to frickin' handcuff Bryce Harper inside of his house. Find a way to handcuff him inside of his house in South Jersey. That's basically what you have to do right now. Just handcuff him. Have what are those things when people are under house arrest? Have the ankle bracelet on that has like the beeper when you step so many feet outside of your property. So every time Bryce tries to step out of his property, a SWAT team comes in to force him back into his goddamn house to make sure he stays in his house and stays fucking resting that hamstring, basically. Oh, yeah. My God. Gotta find a way to keep Bryce Harper protected, man. Gotta find a way to keep Bryce Harper protected. So it looks like Rob Thompson is speaking right now on Phillies post game. I'm not sure if he's gonna have anything really to say there. But what else? No, I don't think there's really anything much from things on the Twitterverse. It was really, besides, wasn't really that much of an action, but hey, I'll give it to Mercado, man. In a situation where the Phillies' fifth starter in the rotation is still in question marks because with Spencer Turnbull's injury, who is going to be out for a while, then, with the Taijuan Walker situation, who is also still in the IL with that finger blister, you got put into a tough spot. And especially with the way that the offense has been swinging it with the injuries to the lineup, it was going to be a tough ask. It definitely was. Granted, the Cubs, they're not the best team in the world. They're last place in the NL Central for a reason. So probably wasn't I would say the most difficult of probably starts, but it's your first major league start. You're going to have the jitters. It's going to be weird. Your command might be all over the place to start it off a little bit. So find a way to calm down. You find a way to settle in. And that's basically what it is. Him combined with most guys in the bullpen, they've set down the Cubs, I believe it was 16 batters in a row or something like that. So they were doing some good things. The Cubs, before that ninth inning, they only had 2 hits going into the ninth inning before those 3, hits in a row against Ruiz. So they were doing something right. The pitching is that is. So just some good stuff. He has some velocity to his, he can throw 95, 97, maybe pump the gun up to 98 if it need be. He has some decent off-speed stuff. Right now, if he needs to go for another start as the 5th guy in the rotation, I wouldn't be shocked if that's going to be the case. If I'm thinking about his next start, it might be against the Los Angeles Dodgers, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm thinking about the rotation right now. So you're going to have Wheeler tomorrow. You're going to have Christopher Sanchez on Thursday on 4th of July, I think. Then you're going to have Aaron Nola on Friday against the Braves, the first game against Atlanta. In Atlanta, actually. Then Saturday will be Ranger. No, actually, Mercado would pitch that Sunday against Atlanta, the series finale. So if everything's still in shape if Taiwan's still on the injured list by then, which most likely I would assume so, I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, I think his next start would be lined up against the Braves. So definitely drastic different types of competition going up against the Chicago Cubs and then transitioning to the Atlanta Braves. So Mercado, if he does make that start, which I would assume he would, definitely would be a tough task to ask right there. And he's going to have to find a way to fight through it. But not looking that far ahead into the future, but I'm just like something that just popped into my head right there. So, and speaking of into the future, let's look at the rest of the series. Like I said, Zack Wheeler, he is going to be on the mound tomorrow. I believe he is going up against Shoto Amanga. So we look at Amanga's numbers right here. He is 7-2 on the season with a 3.07 ERA. Definitely has been getting roughed up a little bit, in recent starts. He did allow 10 earned runs against the New York Mets in his 2 starts ago on the 21st of June. He only went 3 innings, allowed 10 earned. And then against the San Francisco Giants, he went 6 innings, allowed 3 earned. And then, he's been having those good starts. Maybe one of them was a bad start against the White Sox. He allowed 1 earned run, 5 runs total. So I'm not sure, he got roughed up a little bit there. What else? So yeah, his ERA right now in the month of June definitely was his worst month. He was electric in the month of April. He was good in the month of May with a 2.67 ERA, and then June definitely was his worst month with his worst couple of starts, but it's also inflated by allowing 10 earned runs there against the Mets. But yeah, he's been a good pitcher this year, so we'll see how this will be the Phillies' first time facing him. So we'll see how they find a way to hit him, basically. And then Thursday on 4th of July, little 4th of July baseball action. It'll be Christopher Sanchez, coming off of his complete game shutout against the Marlins, going up against Jameson Taillon, who is 4-4 with a 3.03 ERA. Definitely much better than he was last year with Chicago. What were his numbers last year? Because I knew they weren't that good. I knew they were not good. So last year he had a 4.84 ERA. He was 8-10 on the year. So definitely drastically better. The whips are around the same, 4 points better this season. He was a 1.28 last year and a 1.24 this year. So interesting things right here. I'm just looking at right now. Yeah. And then if we look at the Braves series, it'll be Aaron Nola going up against Max Fried, and then Schwellenbach on Saturday against Rangers Suarez, and then Mercado on Sunday against Lopez. And then the Dodgers series happens. In the Dodgers series, that's Wheeler, Sanchez, and Nola against Gavin Stone, who's been really good for the LA. Also against Landon Knack, who's been solid in his starts so far for the Dodgers. And also against Tyler Glasnow, who's been one of the better pitchers in baseball. 8-5 with a 3.23 ERA. So yeah, it'll be some tough series upcoming. Find a way to win this series, then you move on to Atlanta. To a tough 6-game stretch right there, basically, with the Braves and the Dodgers. And then the Oakland Athletics are the team series that closes out before the All-Star break. So you find a way to win some games here, then you focus on the next 2 tough series. That's basically it. It would be nice to get a win tomorrow with Zack Wheeler on the bump. It'll definitely be tough facing Mongo since it's the first time you're seeing him in your careers, basically. So we'll see. And I think that's pretty much it for tonight. No calls here on the voicemail line, so pretty easier night here. Not many people in the live chat either. I do see some of you guys here are tuning into it. Don't always have to interact here sometimes. A little bit of quietness, a little bit easier. Just makes things flows a little bit better, if you know what I mean. If you know. So, yeah. Good stuff here for the Phils. Let's see if they can get a win tomorrow with Zack Wheeler on the bump. So, appreciate everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thanks, guys, for tuning in tonight.